Welcome to Business Digest. Today on the show, we're excited to sit down with an inspiring young entrepreneur whose passion for natural beauty solutions gave birth to Nubian Seed. From humble beginnings to becoming one of Botswana's most recognized natural skincare manufacturers, she continues to prove what innovation, resilience, and authenticity can achieve. Her work was recently acknowledged through the UNDP Market Access Support Award, a milestone that will open new doors for her brand. She joined us today to talk about her journey, her vision for the African skincare. Welcome to the studio, Tuduetso.
Thank you so much, Pauline, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Emma, briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you. My name is Tuduetso Tebape. I'm the co-founder and managing director of a company called Nubian Seed. Nubian Seed, of course, as you've so elaborately stated, thank you so much for that intro, is a green beauty company. Green beauty to mean that I make skincare products utilizing indigenous and natural botanical and bio-derived ingredients. Just a fancy description to say the personal care products or cosmetics that the company makes. The ingredients are primarily and only actually either indigenous from Botswana or other parts of the African continent. Always they are natural as well. So I switch between referring to the company as personal care or cosmetics making. I myself I'm I won't say budding entrepreneur, but growing, because I think every day in business is a learning occasion. Nubian Seed has been in operation formally since 2006. Why am I forgetting? It's blank in my head right now. But what we have started out as was a cottage industry business before we registered the business about 7 years ago now. The actual year has just escaped me. I don't know why, but yes.
That's fine. That's fine. Yes. Tell us, what inspired you to venture in this kind of business? And also, what does Nubian Seed mean?
Okay. The inspiration to, and I kind of it's something of a cliche story in the sense that, you know, people say, oh, I wasn't planning to start the business. And really, that is the truth for Nubian Seed. The inspiration of Nubian Seed is an extension or a development of an existing passion and interest of my own and my co-founder, who is my sister, actually, my younger sister named Korata. We are both the founders of the business. It started really quite in an interesting way. We have a background of having traveled around the world quite a lot because our father worked in foreign affairs. And one of the things that we interacted with quite a lot was shea butter. We moved back to Botswana, couldn't find shea butter to continue moisturizing our skin with, reached out to one of our aunts who lived in Ghana and asked her for shea butter. She sent a whole bunch that was more than what we needed. And because existing in us was an entrepreneurial, I will say, interest, you know, but also a passion. I've always been passionate about natural things, you know, flowers, plants, all of that. We started mixing and matching stuff and first started selling just unrefined shea butter, reselling that as it was. And then because I knew what to make out of personal care, you know, what to make using the shea butter, started making products, became known as, you know, a person who was selling shea butter. And that's how we started until one day, having seen how the sales were going, many word of mouth phone calls, decided to start up a table at a farmer's market that happened every month. To start selling our products so that people could find us at a place once a month, at least, separate to the, you know, the calls to say, have you got shea butter? Come and deliver it. And yeah, and then, you know, with the sales doing well at the farmer's market, I remember calling my sister and be like, I think we could actually start a business. Yeah, no, like people are actually buying, they want to find us. Let's formally start this. So the inspiration, this is what I mean when I say it happened quite naturally. At first, it was just supplying something for myself that I used to using. Then because in interacting with a natural product or something of nature, I will ever be inspired to do something out of it. Started making products, then started selling them, and then registered the business, and the rest, as they say, is history.
The rest is history. Okay, so walk us through your product range and what makes your product so unique.
The product range are they're quite diverse. I've brought a selection of some here. We've got things like foot soak. The foot soak is made out of salt, 3 different types of salt. The fundamental type of salt that I use is actually from Suwa, Makadi Khadi pans. Well, not the pans specifically, but it's a local supplier that I know for sure sources from, from our local salt pans. So that's an example of an indigenous ingredient that I utilize in the product range for personal care. The foot soak is paired with a foot balm, for example. That in its ingredients are unrefined shea butter, beeswax, peppermint essential oil, as well as tea tree essential oil. We've got things like murula oil, kana murula, and in the labeling of it, much as I'm an international company, for the time being, I'm still labeling it as murula, but once I start exporting, I'll have to transfer the name to marula. But long story, so we've got oils like that. I also make a lip balm it's called Moretologa Lip Pot. Moretologa, again, I'm utilizing our local name because it's a locally sourced thing, but once I hop over borders, I may have to start thinking differently about that. In English and in skincare, Moretologa is Zemenia. Zemenia is quite a renowned skincare and cosmetics ingredient for skin, for hair as well. I also brought some ingredients just to demonstrate some that feature in the actual product range. So these leaves that you see here, Musukujani. Musukujani is one of the mints that you find in our foot soak, for example. I've brought some hibiscus to demonstrate one of the ingredients that goes in our hibiscus and sugar body scrub. So those are the examples of products that we have. I've also got things like hydrosols or natural floral water toners. So your rose water. I've got body products as well, body creams, hand lotion, cuticle oils. I've got facial masks outside of the one that we see here, which is called Carolyn Clay. So it's quite a wide range of skincare products that address different skincare concerns. And like I say, I try to utilize them as personal care. And what makes the products the Nubian Seed unique is that, yes, I mean, they are all natural, but I believe that what informs the making of these products is a unique positioning of the products as well. When I say what informs it is that, yes, they're cosmetics, yes, you can use them to address your skincare concerns, but I also position them as having a healing element as well. Personal care tied to personal healing as well. Salt, for example, has its own, shall we say, metaphysical benefits, aside from even its own physical benefits as well. The fact of connecting to nature. These days it's popularized to say, go out and start earthing, grounding and stuff. But genuinely, I position the company as a mindful skincare brand because I believe that a moment in time spent with the Nubian Seed products is a moment in time spent with nature. So outside of maybe hugging a tree, for example, you can open a bottle of marula oil, moisturize yourself with it, and use that as an opportunity to realize that, okay, here I am utilizing, like a natural product, the healing benefit of touch as you massage or hawitasa, utilize it as a moment to switch the thinking of it, and connect to nature in the thinking of that. So then the authenticity of the products and them all being natural, the ethics behind it, like I just said, the mindful skincare component as well. And, I believe that the Tuduetso touch to it is also something that uniquely positions the brand as well. I mean, I'm still growing as a company, so a lot of my products are handmade. We're semi-automated in what much as we say manufacturing. I'm not in a fully fledged manufacturing facility, but those 3 things are what I'd cite as unique positioning elements of the company.
Okay, so how do you source your raw materials?
My raw materials, rudimentarily, I mean, courier, not any not any ship freighting just yet, still air courier. So with the shea butter, for example, as much as possible, I will say that even as a green beauty company, by definition, sustainability has to be something that is incorporated in your practice, in one's practice. So how do I sustainably source my ingredients? As much as possible and as much as I can, try to source directly from communities where these raw materials are connected to. So in the case of my shea butter, for example, I know from certification that my supplier presents to me that he or she is connected to a community of women or people who manufacture and directly benefit or process rather the raw shea butter, which is it comes from a tree called the karite tree that you only find in West Africa. So they process the karite nut, which this shea butter actually brought some just to demonstrate what the ingredient, this is it in its raw form, what it comes out of. So just to ensure that it comes directly from source. As much as possible, people will say, but you're sourcing all over Africa. How are you being sustainable as far as, being friendly to the earth, the fumes that you're exuding. So I try to source as much as I can company budget afford at the same time so that I'm not sourcing a lot, but typically it is through sourcing by ensuring the companies I'm supplying from or sourcing from are connected to communities, trying to source in bulk such that I'm minimizing the amount of time, the frequency of my sourcing from. And the main countries so far that I do source from are South Africa, Ghana, and the South African company that I do source from does get from other African countries, things like the cocoa butter, hibiscus, and the like. I would love it if there was more access to raw materials that are suitable for manufacturing cosmetics locally, but the value chain in this regard is still developing, Botswana.
Okay, I think we'll take a pause. We'll continue after the break. That was a great overview of Tuduetso's products. We're going for a short commercial break. When you come back, she's going to talk more about her operations behind the Nubian Seed and the support that is helping the brand grow.
For more than 50 years, Debswana's success has been the result of a solid and enduring partnership between the Botswana government and De Beers. This has been underpinned by the resilience and commitment of its workforce. The Debswana story is one marked by a careful stewardship, wise investment, and shared prosperity by all stakeholders. Debswana is motivated by its vision of becoming a global benchmark diamond business and is regarded as one of the world's leading diamond producers by value. It currently operates 4 operations: Orapa and Damtsha mines, the Letlhakane mine tailings treatment plant, and Jwaneng mine. Recovered diamonds are sold to the Diamond Trading Company Botswana in Gaborone, one of the world's most sophisticated rough diamond sorting and valuing facilities. After this stage, the diamonds are sold to the De Beers Global Site Holder Sales for aggregation and to the wholly government-owned Okavango Diamond Company, ODC. The diamonds are then sold to the world's leading diamond tears, known as site holders, to be cut and polished before being sold to jewelry manufacturers both locally and abroad. Debswana is the largest employer in Botswana after the government, with over 5,500 employees and 6,000 contractors. The company recognizes that having a more diverse and inclusive workforce is not only the right thing to do, but also a business imperative. Debswana is guided by the Social Way framework, which establishes social performance principles by delivering a lasting positive contribution to communities, managing risks and impacts. Debswana's vision and values underpin the way it operates. They guide the way it deals with its people and its stakeholders, empowering the company to make life brilliant and turn diamond dreams into reality. One of the company's core values is to conduct business in a manner that upholds the safety and health of its employees, visitors, and contractors, and minimize impact on the environment. Debswana's environmental and safety systems conform to the highest international standards. the game parks surrounding its larger operations are well stocked and protected and are used as popular recreational destinations and for environmental education. Through the significant contribution of Debswana, Botswana is now regarded as a modern economic success story, a country with modest beginnings that has transformed itself into a rapidly developing upper middle income economy. Even though diamonds are finite, Debswana remains a beacon of hope for Botswana and will continue to be such for the foreseeable future. Debswana, mining diamonds, enriching the nation.
Welcome back from the break. We continue our conversation with the entrepreneur behind Nubian Seed. Before the break, we discussed her product philosophy. Now let's turn to the business, the production process, and what's driving the brand forward. Tuduetso, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes. How has Nubian Seed grown since inception? And what milestones are you proud of?
Oh gosh, Nubian Seed has grown. But it in its existence is something that I'm proud of overall, but certainly along the business journey. And this, by the way, is something that I find it's important as an entrepreneur. There won't always be, those moments that you feel like are, as exceptional. But I feel like along the way, particularly if you plan to be going the long haul, you have to be able to see even what seems like small things as milestones or achievements, So it's still existing 7 years after, I dreamed this dream, and it came into life. But I remember that starting up the business and transitioning, like I mentioned earlier, having this conversation with my co-founder and sister to say, hey, I think we have a business here. I had absolutely no knowledge in business, none, I'm still passion-led. Certainly in practice, I learned and have matured a lot in that way, But I started out through a program called the Stanford GTM Go-to-Market Program. That was a program sponsored by De Beers and the Stanford Graduate University. That's what first started the go-to-market strategy of Nubian Seed. Soon after that, I'm very proud to have been selected as one of the 50 Tony Elumelu entrepreneurs, Botswana, and actually one that received a grant for 5,000 dollars at the time, and would translate to what the conversion rate was then. Bought a little bit of machinery, bought some stock with that as well. Another program called Fem by Your Biz, that was a program that I came first place. I won a competition with that through the then Botswana Innovation Hub. Took us to Cape Town for the Innovation Summit, South African Innovation Summit, and then went all the way up to Finland, actually, where I learned that I've also been exposed to, I think it was 3 years ago, I went on a trip to Germany under the SADC EPA support program, one of 5 entrepreneurial companies, 4, taken there for market research, learned at a place called Biofach, which is one of the most elite and also prominent, organic expos for cosmetics and foods in Europe. There's been so much off the top of my head that I could
it's fine.
I could list off as being, real significant milestones.
Yes. So what is your distribution strategy? Where can someone get your products?
At this stage, it's digital, and I happened upon it. It wasn't at first the plan. In 2020, when COVID hit, when we had the lockdown just the year after, I think that was 2021, we were still trying to find, we being business owners and stuff, still trying to find ways to get products in our hands. I mentioned one of the things that, I mentioned winning the Tony Elumelu Prize and buying a couple of things with it. One of the things specifically that we developed, we being my partner and I, was a fully fledged e-commerce website. At the time, they were a lot more pricey than they are right now. I think, and at the time being back in 2021, developed a full website, with it being that the plan is for this website to be our flagship, the flagship Nubian Seed store, because much as we are a local company, we definitely are very global. Also, the numbers for Botswana as well, you know, an export strategy sort of does need to be inclusive of your products, of the distribution strategy. So very digital, primarily and fundamentally. We haven't advanced fully to the website just yet. The local market has been and is still developing its comfort in use of website shopping, but we're getting there. People are really starting to buy in South African websites, so I think now is the time I can spend more energy pushing for that. But other than that, people have just been sending in orders by WhatsApp, delivering the products, getting them a few a day or on the same day as well. And select retail stores are where I seek to, because we still haven't gotten there yet. The distribution digitally has been working very well. We courier nationwide, utilizing it as well, having advertised and marketed on our social media platforms. So that's primarily where we are. I'm looking to advance or shift. You mentioned the company being scaling, you know, so I'm looking to shift to position further my B2B business to other business in specific industries, primarily looking at the hospitality industry as one of the ones that we are keen to scale up and position and distribute into.
Okay. Earlier on, you mentioned getting support from some of the accelerators. So have you secured any partnerships, and how has this transformed your business?
Gosh, you know, we can't go alone, you know, in an entity like with small business. So I'm very grateful for some of the key partnerships, stakeholders, and key relationships that have formed throughout the years, you know, some in the form of, business acceleration development, some, you know, bringing us closer to such. Like, I will always mention De Beers, because that's an entity that the program, the Stanford Go-to-Market one, that graduate business school as well, Stanford as well, Botswana Innovation Hub. We've advanced. Now I do have more international positioning as an entity. So Nubian Seed is one of the African Women in Processing, which is a WIP listed companies, also African Union. Most recently, I'm very proud of the formation of a partnership with UNDP, having gone to exhibit at the Intra-African Trade Fair that was just held this year in Algeria. Participated in a competition there where the grand prize was market access for 12 months. So much as I went to Algeria, sponsored and supported by a WIP and African Union, the competition was something that was UNDP supported. So as a result of that, I presented for a group of us, and we being other women who are also from other African countries, but because we're talking specifically about me and Nubian Seed, for the next 12 months, we'll have market access for both my Nubian Seed, but also we're forming a Pan-African product as this. So UNDP is definitely, UNDP Africa is definitely one that I'd mention as a key partner, and I'm still forming the, shall we say, a relationship with our local body, because it's very important, of course, much as there's, the Africa support to localize that as well. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations on the UNDP market access to do.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you for shedding light on that. We'll step out for a quick commercial break, but when we return, we'll explore the growth opportunities ahead for Nubian Seed.
Diamonds. The word alone evokes potent symbolism. From the unimaginable power of the forces that create these precious stones, to their unparalleled strength and durability, to their indelible association with the most powerful human emotion, love. Born billions of years ago, diamonds have captivated our imagination throughout human history. Botswana, in particular, has a special place in its heart for this magical stone. Diamonds have assisted its transformation from one of the least developed countries in the world to a glittering success story.
The future of the country looked very bleak before the discovery of diamonds. It was so bleak that some people asked whether we were brave or foolish to want to be independent.
New capital, Gaborone, the national flag is unfurled amidst much enthusiasm. Good luck, Botswana. Our best wishes go with you.
The birth of Botswana's diamond dream, sparked by the discovery of the Orapa pipe by De Beers geologists, came shortly after the country's independence. The second major find by the De Beers prospecting team, Zwaneng Mine, propelled Debswana to becoming the world's leading diamond producer by value. Debswana is the largest private sector employer in the country, and its revenues have played a major role in building Botswana's infrastructure, health, and education sectors. Debswana's contribution to Botswana's economy over the past 5 decades has been significant. It is the major contributor to the national economy, contributing 33% to GDP, 70% to export earnings, and 32% to government revenue. Debswana's long-term focus on the sustainability of its business will maintain the lives of its operations and the communities around which they operate for many years to come. Debswana, mining diamonds and enriching the nation for 50 years.
Welcome back. We're still in conversation with the founder of Nubian Seed, unpacking her entrepreneurial journey and the milestones shaping her business. Let's pick up where we left off. Before we went for the break, you were talking about the UNDP market access support. So what does this mean to your business, and how will it assist your business in the next 12 months?
Market access, then thank you for that question. Accessing different places that I seek to sell the products in the instances where there will be different exhibitions, as there was in Algeria, an opportunity to exhibit at that as well. More zeroing in on product or the business itself. Regional support in accessing regional markets like South Africa is one way in particular that I'm currently having conversations with them about as well. Yeah, so that's I think I would just theme it around in that to say that. Yeah.
Okay, so what impact do you think this support have on long term on your business?
Gosh, phenomenal impact. I mean, as far as my distribution and export strategy, I've always wanted to for Nubian Seed. Yes, I have planned to export to the European Union and the United States, but I've always wanted to have Africans have their hands on African-made products. So this in itself will get me exposed, or the company exposed in different African markets. That in a way that done alone, I may not have been able to just yet. So that's my favorite thing about this, like just that the opportunity to get the products into the hands of other Africans across the continent. Also the support of a muscle body such as that, as a small business or growing business that's pre-growth stage. it's I'm struggling to find the words, but it matters a lot, in the sense that it sort of gives me a louder voice, bigger eyes, so to speak, because the scope of what I can see and where to go. So I'm excited. I'm really grateful for it, and I can only just in summary say that it's significant. The impact that it will have, and I'm still to see the fruition of it come to light. We'll touch in another 8 months. Ghana, that was in September. Yeah.
Okay. So you mentioned that you are eyeing South Africa. Which other markets are you also eyeing?
Oh, certainly West African markets. Your Ghana. I get one of the raw materials in the main product, in the country, East Africa as well. And further to having been in North Africa, that too, or there as well. Those are the places where on the continent that I'm keen to. The how of the products and what of the products as far as your international export markets like China, United States, as well as Europe as well. And I'm mentioning these entities as countries. I've been there as well. Even China, I didn't mention International Trade Center, apologies, as one of a supporting entity for Nubian Seed. I've once exhibited at the China International Expo. So there as well, these are entities, maybe not necessarily single ingredient products. As the business grows, there are different ways in which I like to sell African ingredients.
Okay, so what's next for Nubian Seed? Are there any new products, expansions, and innovations that we should look out for?
On the new product range, I'm excited about. So the new product is tied to how the company is growing, or like how I seek for it to grow. I'm still strategizing, still planning. But one new product I'm excited about, for example, is one that I've made in collaboration with a community in Dikar, some women over there. Dikar, of course, being near Khanzi. Utilizing an ingredient that's indigenous in the area there. I taught them how to make soap. We made a soap together, and I'll be selling that soap, for Nubian Seed, and they too will be using that soap to sell to the different tourism markets. Why I said this is tied to a growth strategy for Nubian Seed is that I will be working a lot closer with the communities. Currently, the part of the value chain that Nubian Seed is in is at the stage of production. I'm looking to straddle now and include at the harvesting and the processing part of the raw materials, and in doing that, having closer connections with communities. So having a model that incorporates I will say community, just for lack of a better word. I prefer to call them harvesters and suppliers, because these are the people who are custodians and closer to the raw materials that I'm utilizing. So we'll be seeing a lot more of that happening, as well as more wholesale of the of our indigenous ingredients to different export markets. I think those are the key highlights. Yeah.
Okay. So what obstacles have you faced as a woman entrepreneur, especially in manufacturing? I didn't mean to be coy with that laugh. There are many, but challenges exist. Yes.
It's all part of the game that we're playing. We signed up for this. Some of the challenges and I don't know whether they are unique to women as well. I think that's also where, the chuckle came from. But yes, there are experiences that as a woman entrepreneur, I do experience that are different from my male counterparts. But I will start maybe with the overall ones.
Yes,
specific to my industry, facilities to manufacture from. That is a real challenge locally. There are much as manufacturing is cited as something that's highlighted as a thing that's going to help bolster and boost the economy. We are lacking in spaces for this manufacturing to happen, so accessing that as well. Raw materials that we utilize specific to the industry, the development of that, and that is also what's informed my wanting to enter into that space as well. Marula is from Botswana, but currently we don't have any processors of marula oil locally. They fell off, for challenges that exist in the industry. Yes, access to financing, but I'm not that entrepreneur who thinks money is the only thing that makes anything possible. But at certain stages of the business, particularly the one that I am in right now, pre-growth, access to capital and financing is a significant one. Specific as a woman in business, I have a family, I have 3 children. The work-life balance, much as it sounds like a cliche, that's a real thing, in my life. Trying to balance that as well. And yes, not to sound like the woman who feels like she's on the outside of the periphery, but there are some opportunities that we wish were more open to a woman in business as well. So yeah, but these are hurdles we jump over, and I'm not discouraged by them.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. So one last question. Which trends do you see in natural and organic skincare, especially for African brands?
For African brands, an opportunity for us to use more of our African ingredients, because African ingredients are, when they across the board, creatively, with arts, textiles, all of that, it's like Africa's time is now. Even in skincare, Africa's time is now. Some of our ingredients are becoming more and more popular outside of Murula. Things like Khengwe oil, which is Kalahari melon seed. So that's it. That. I go on and on. So let me just say our ingredients are that much more relevant, and yeah, let's use them more.
So we should embrace them.
Certainly. Get to know them, embrace them, use them. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for coming through, Tudu.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Tudu's story is a powerful reminder of what vision, resilience, and consistency can build. Nubian Seed is a proof that local brands can compete and lead, and we're excited to see how the UNDP support elevates your work even further. We appreciate your time and wish you every success. From me and my team, until next time.
Story is one of transformation, the beating heart behind Botswana's evolution. More than a diamond mining company, it epitomizes exploration, innovation, and excellence. Every year, it pioneers responsible resource management, technological progress, and community upliftment, shaping our future. Botswana unearths opportunities, enabling education and livelihoods. Its legacy illuminates our horizons, guiding every Motswana towards a better tomorrow. Botswana, building a brighter future for Botswana, beyond diamonds.